Hi everyone, I'm Ross MacRae, Group HR Director, Deputy MD at the Orion Group. Welcome to our presentation series on off-payroll working. This is number 7 and the final presentation in the series. In this presentation, we'll look at the various engagement models that are available to end clients through a large, broad service recruitment company such as Orion. Before looking at the alternative engagement models that are available, it's important that an end user of temporary workers critically assesses how they engage their workforce just now. Identifying all existing engagement models and suppliers at this stage will aid later actions. At this point, as we have covered in earlier presentations in more detail, it's important to set the business philosophy regarding the engagement of personal service companies. You may elect to continue engaging personal service companies and introduce an assignment assessment process or even cease working with them altogether. There are a range of IR35 assessment methods available, and we've previously discussed such options. Over the next few slides, we'll look at, first of all, a solution to compliantly engage personal service companies before looking at various alternatives including PAYE, umbrella companies, in-scope personal service companies and outsourcing. Orion offers an outsourced IR35 assessment solution. Our compliance service provides coordination of formal IR35 assessments to determine whether your personal service companies are engaged on an in or out of scope basis. This enables you to decide on the engagement basis that you'll utilise. Working with a third-party tax advisor that's no vested interest in providing anything other than a factual determination, Orion will facilitate the formal online assessment, determination, dissemination, timeline management and related documentation retention. This facility provides the client with final approval of status determinations and involves a personal service company in the process. So, given the level of detail that's assessed, the parties that are involved and the professional experience of the tax advisors, tax national insurance contribution liabilities relating to out-of-scope personal service companies are actually underwritten through an insurance policy. And with detailed statement determinations, appeal numbers should be limited but easily facilitated if necessary. Orion also offers contractual advice, transition management services and best practice guidance. When an end user ceases engaging personal service companies or finds that some are in scope of IR35, the usual alternative is to engage the workers on a temporary PAYE basis through a recruitment agency. Here the individual is engaged as an agency worker and full tax national insurance contributions are deducted. This is easily organised and routine for most recruitment firms, but you should satisfy yourself that your supply chain operates compliantly with the host of agency regulations that there are. Some agents don't actually offer a PAYE engagement service or are belatedly establishing a payroll capability. So you may want to satisfy yourself that they are competent and experienced. Matters to assure yourself of include: is the agency releasing appropriate contracts for services, detailing contractual rights, and in compliance with the key information document requirements? Does the agency correctly apply pension auto-enrolment and pay the required employer contributions without discouraging policy membership? Is the Working Time Directive regulations complied with and holiday pay managed correctly? Are the agency conduct regulations adhered to, are appropriate pay slips issued and real-time reporting carried out? You'll also want to ensure that your suppliers are carrying appropriate insurances, including employment and public liability for the sites and locations where their workers are engaged, along with professional indemnity. One more thing to check is supplier competence. Do they retain experienced payroll teams? Do they have support HR and tax functions? along with affiliations to professional bodies such as the Recruitment and Employment Confederation, Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development. It is possible for personal service company workers whose assignments have been found to be in scope of IR35 to continue working through the personal service company, but for the recruitment company, known as a fee payer, to deduct tax and national insurance of the deemed income. We anticipate limited interest in this model, as a contractor will have to continue with all the company administration, engage an accountant, and paying for relevant insurances, whilst not benefiting from any of the employment rights that an agency worker accrues, such as, for example, a pension contribution. There are a range of compliance and expense management issues that makes this model fairly challenging, but it's still a legal engagement model. Umbrella companies are similar to agency payrolls in that they engage workers on a PAYE basis and deduct personal tax and national insurance contributions. They're typically engaged through recruitment firms and charge a worker a fee for providing their services. Agents do not charge workers fees for their payroll services. Where umbrella companies are used, ask your agents if they assess umbrella company compliance with statutory obligations and whether they have a qualifying enrolment process and if they audit them. Unfortunately, this sector has been tainted with some bad practices, including offshoring, where payments are made illegally overseas without UK tax deductions, and the likes of non-repayable loan arrangements, which is tax avoidance. And it is appropriate to ask your recruitment suppliers how they ensure that risks are limited and what do they do with suppliers that are non-compliant. Where services have been completely outsourced to a third party, then it's unlikely that IR35 rules will apply to any personal service companies engaged through that third party. You have to be careful to ensure that none of the self-employed tests such as control and supervision could be applied, and that the work has been genuinely outsourced to the supplier, with no interventions in how it's carried out and who does it. Service companies such as Orion undertake statements of works where complete projects have been outsourced for us to undertake. When this happens, we ensure that we are responsible for project management, planning, preparation and execution, along with governance and oversight. Such projects are also likely to include more than just labour provision. They may require materials or facilities, very specific expertise, along with risk and liability underwriting. What is clear is that arrangement has to be a genuine business arrangement with no personal services provided to the end user. Where there's any doubt, it's best to carry out an IR35 assessment on any personal service companies engaged through your suppliers. The off-payroll legislation is challenging and is providing a major headache for organisations previously unfamiliar with it to implement. As we've shown, companies like Orion can assist with compliance solutions for IR35, whether it is the introduction of an assignment assessment process or utilising alternative engagement models. That brings to an end our off-payroll review series, which I hope addressed any questions you had relating to the changes affecting IR35. Please contact Orion if you require any further assistance. Thank you.